I would like to, you want to go into it? Right. Let me quickly read that for the betterment of those who do not have the papers in front of them. You can go to Citi Newsroom to get the news on there. Now, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Mahama, has called on government to acknowledge the existence of doomsday, that is power outages, and release a well-defined load-shedding timetable. Recent power outages in various parts of the country have prompted Mahama's call for transparency. Speaking at a gathering in Sisala West as part of his Building the Ghana We Want tour in the Upper West region, Mr. Mahama emphasized that Ghanaians are well aware of the ongoing load shedding and simply need a clear schedule. As a former president, Mahama highlighted that he kept the public informed during his tenure about challenges and the steps taken to address them. However, he expressed concerns that the current administration has not been as forthcoming in addressing the issue. I'm about to quote him. When I was president, if things were not going well, I told the people of Ghana things are not going well, and this is what we are trying to do about it. I think my honesty was one of my major problems because I didn't think I should fool my people. Today, every day you sleep and the lights go off, and we know that they are shedding load. They have a problem with generation. Some generation assets are down. They have a problem with paying of gas. They also have a problem with paying of fuel. So every day they are shedding between 280 and 480 megawatts of power. But they will not give us a timetable and say you will be off today. This one will be off tomorrow, because that is what Ghanaians know as doomsday. And it goes on and on. So you can get the news on citinewsroom.com. Now let me come to you, Mr. Ocansey.
Right.
Now, what do you think? Do we need a timetable? Do you think there's load shedding? Do you even think there's doomsday at all?
Well, before I go there, a very good morning to your viewers and to the two of you wonderful people with me here. I think it's good to have these healthy discussions. But let me say that a quick one to the passing of the Honorable Deputy Minister of Finance, Honorable John Kumah.
Yeah.
I've known him from student days in Nooks.
Nooks.
He was my mate in Nooks, so yes. He contested Honorable Mahama and lost to Mahama. That was a very good contest between the two of them. Sadly, another young one passed. And, you know, when you love to see women and young people in politics and you lose one from a sensitive position like this, it's actually good. But I think we just call on Ghanaians to, the few of Ghanaians engaged in these rumors. Let's tone down a bit. I'm not saying nobody should investigate. I mean, they should allow the police, and those who have some information should go to the police. We should be a bit sensitive. We are Ghanaians. We still remain Ghanaians.
Of course.
And issues of death, you have to respect the dead and also
the family
be sensitive about the feelings of a family.
Yeah.
Especially a widow to come out around this time. If you felt it before. I saw his mother when she was crying. And it took me back to 1987 when my sister drowned in the sea.
Sorry.
And I felt the same way my mom was feeling. That picture has not left me.
It never leaves you.
So I'm sure some of the children or family members, young guys especially, who are seeing the mom in this situation, coupled with the discussion, it's a not.
No.
But hey, the doomsday, you see, the doomsday was denied locally. But doomsday decided to take, in fact, gain international recognition. You see, when you cap it, it will explode. So there's no doomsday. There's no doomsday. But there's light off.
Okay.
Yeah, so
in Tree it's called?
It is, maybe for now it is Doom Kakra.
Na Sonic Kakra.
No, Sonic Kakra.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yes, the discussion was, there's a problem. And here, I'll tell you, we'll be very interested in honesty and transparency. The word honesty and transparency, I would like to adopt it here. They've given Mahama the power and the strength to talk well on this matter. You were here in Ghana. I wasn't the one who spoke for him. He accepted there was doomsday. He said what? I'll fix it. When he was leaving, I saw a power badge, and I saw, you know, and when I heard, this discussion has not been properly done in this country. And it's a shame, especially to our energy experts, finance experts. I've not really heard the good discussion around this problem of doomsday. Because my father-in-law was a former CEO for VRA.
Right.
You know, so he's had good discussions with me. He's late now.
Sorry.
But Mr. Joshua Fedier told me some of the real problems. The real problems. I mean, the problems around generation, the problems around the obsolete machineries. All these were around. But yesterday, when the discussion came up, somebody said, look, I'm still expanding and spreading. Look, up to today, somebody is yet to get electricity in their homes.
True. I don't have lights when I was coming
so
here.
whenever, no, I'm saying those who have
those
actually
who don't
built their new buildings,
and did not
and
have
some places
the
where
wirings have not been done.
Some areas where
and all.
people have to pull their poles, 10, 20 poles to pull in electricity energy to their areas. But people did not want to have any of that. And that's how the discussion should be. How much of the power is generated, how much was consumption, and then how much is consumption coming up to right now. All that one was shelved. And it was that Mahama caused doom so. And I wonder how a sitting president will cause doom so. Because you know you are distributing, you are generating, and if you have poorly managed the generation, you will cause a problem. At the time, if there was a problem of generation, then today, excess machines are in place. And the first statement we heard from this current government was that we didn't need some of the machines that came, you know. So, like they told other people, they said, keep quiet and fix it. I think for now, Abana Edibo teaching.
And one year, Boba.
In terminal from Boba.
So we definitely
now,
need a
Bana and
timetable.
Kasamo on train, my Abane back. Only yes or yeah. They were experts when they were in opposition.
So we definitely need a timetable.
Timetable.
We need the load shedding timetable to know which areas will definitely be going off, maybe about an hour, maybe 2 hours. Then you prepare towards it. Because
you are so hopeful.
I am hopeful because I'm a Ghanaian.
But the people say there's no doom so.
But I'm experiencing
You see,
something.
accepting and identifying the problem is the starting point of solving the problem. Your mother is dead. You said your mother is not dead. You're born on when it's 6 p.m. Traditional time for eating. Then you realize that, yes, you lied to yourself and not the people. Fix it. There was doom so. There was a problem. Obsolete machinery. Whether it was obsolete machinery, whether it was a generation problem, whether it was a problem of not getting fuel, there was a problem. So start with the discussion. This is the problem we are solving. So is it also that the lights, the plants at the various sports venues, they're also obsolete?
The fact that for whole 2 hours, the lights were off at Cape Coast Stadium.
Tell you what, Ghanaians, we don't learn. It's sad, I'm saying this. We never learn. We have never learned anything from lessons. The same problems that can 2008, you remember?
Yes, Esipon Stadium.
Somebody said, look, let's run on generators. And today, you can blame me because you can say I'm being biased. But that was my father-in-law, a CEO of VRA at the time. He said, let's run on gensets. A deputy minister of energy at the time went ahead and gave an instruction that they should rely on the power grid, the national grid.
National grid.
Just cutting corners every day. Are you sure if we're running after $196 million, you cannot even be running on gensets? An event like this is absurd for you to think of even using the national grid. For an event like this one, run on the genset. At the point right now, the electricity cost and the diesel, they both are almost the same.
They're almost the same. 13.4.
So just be smart, especially when you have actually sunk next door Côte d'Ivoire. You see the amount they spend?
Yes.
But
yes.
you see
this
that
morning we were discussing it. They didn't complain because they had 4 gen sets that were, like I said, I was there a year before and I realized the pre-planning that had gone into Côte d'Ivoire.
Bless you this morning. This is what I'm talking about. Eh? You did not fix anything and you are messing things up. I mean, even support. The supporters were waiting in the various areas. I know somebody was in
amputees.
The amputees sat down because there was no ambulance. You see, I don't know. I think this administration that are in place right now, they need to do something around prayer. They have to consider going to the traditionalists, to also going to the churches. They should find a spiritual healing. The very things, go and line up the things that they were criticizing others for. It is hitting them left, center, and right. I mean, ambulance, the people who touted themselves of bringing about 1 million ambulances into this country. In an event, you see, you cover it locally. I ever saw a video of one of the ambulances, and some people have packed goods in it.
Cement. That was around.
You were using ambulances for this. And the day of the event, when amputees were sitting down waiting to have their race, I mean, it's if ever you have actually raced, I know Mesa maybe didn't race when he was in school, but I did some track events.
What kind of shade is this?
At least I have some. I mean, I did some track events, and I have some certificates to show. Okay. Before the race, you have to organize yourself.
Of course.
This can really, really disorganize you.
Let me go on. I'm sure they won't forget about this, Shane. Now, Mr. Thompson, yes. What is your take? Do you think we need a timetable for the load shedding?
Don't we?
I'm asking you, so tell the people of Ghana.
After sleeping in darkness for only God knows how long, I think last week, during the week, power went off in my area from 6 p.m. and came back around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for 4 or 5 times during the week. Before then, we've seen power outages here and there, in the afternoons here and there. Official records is showing that ECG is shedding up to 500 megawatts of power at peak hours. That's official record. What that means is that when demand rises to the highest level, we are not able to meet that demand. And so we need to get off some power just to save some of the plants that are producing for us. What is the definition of doomsday? The definition of doomsday is that at a particular point in time, you are not able to generate enough power to meet your demand, and so there's a shortfall. And so what you do then is that in order not to shortchange other power consumers, you distribute the power, some at a particular place, some at a particular point in time, so that when you are shedding, if you are shedding 500 megawatts of power, you don't share all of it at one place. You shed maybe 2 megawatts here, 5 megawatts here, across the country, so that everybody can get a little power to use.
Yeah.
That is doomsday.
So we are actually
that is the technical definition of doomsday. So instead of getting power for 24 hours, because we have to shed 500 megawatts, this area we allocate you, we are going to shed 2 megawatts here. So if it is Achimota, we are shedding 2 megawatts of power at Achimota. We look at, so what is the consumption in Achimota? How many hours can we shed power in Achimota to be able to shed 2 megawatts? If it is 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, then based on that, at a particular point in time, they will have to take power at Achimota for 6 hours to be able to shed 2 megawatts of power at Achimota. Then they go to maybe Ofanko or maybe Tema. They say, Tema, we need to shed maybe 10 megawatts of power at Tema.
Right.
So how many hours do we have to take the electricity? And at which areas do we have to take it to be able to shed 10 megawatts? Then they take the power off. It go off at that particular point in time. Small across the country, so that the 500 megawatts you are shedding can all be covered. That is doomsday.
They are rationing.
Yes, you are rationing. So give us a timetable. You say, no, there is no doomsday. What is load shedding? Is load shedding not doomsday? You are shedding load, or is it a tree? Is it a tree where doomsday that you don't want?
Let me help our viewers here. Now I've googled doomsday, since we are saying there's no doomsday, and now they are asking, is it an English word? But it's been described as a tree word, which means off and on in the Akan language, and that has become a household name for the persistent and erratic power outages in Ghana. It's observed that although Dumsor is an Akan origin, all but one of the affixes employed for Dumsor-based derivations are of English origin. And it started in the 2012 and 2016 when Ghana experienced severe electricity crisis, and they started calling it.
So we are in Dumsor. Now, I don't want to go to why we are here because it's overflogged. We are here because of the recklessness of some people. Full stop. Because of the lack of planning, you know, lack of foresight, you know, ineffective management of our electricity assets, corruption, through reckless borrowing and lack of investment in the power sector. Period. That's why we are here. But now, we are not looking at why we are here. We are hosting a major continental tournament. And so, we are in a situation where we need power. If nothing at all, the areas hosting the tournament, where the stadiums are located, the areas where, you know, visitors are staying, the athletes are staying, at least must have constant access to power. So, this is why we are saying, give us a timetable, because when you come up with a timetable, the timetable will then allow you to now look at the areas where the games are being played, exclude them from the rationing. So if you need to share 2 megawatts in those areas, you take those 2 megawatts and go and share it somewhere else to compensate, and then later compensate that area.
Is it a lack of preparedness on the part of
I don't want to call it foolishness, but it is just lack of thinking. Just lack of thinking. Because anybody hosting a major, I mean, you see, it is not a joke to have the opportunity to host such a tournament. It's a continental tournament, not just one sport. So you have athletes from all dispensations convening in Accra, and common electricity power for their games. We can't give them. I mean, what sort of incompetence is this? What sort of incompetence is this? And it is just lack of planning. Just plan and think. The head on your head as officials was not put there for decoration. It was put there to be used to solve problems. So think.
You have 60 seconds.
So think and use your head to solve the problems. Let us provide a timetable for the entire country. And through that, we can be able to take out the game centers, and then we can compensate the areas that will be affected later.
Right.
This is as simple as A, B, C, D. Please.
All right.
Use your head, oh.
Thank
Use your head.
All right.
Hey, babe, you're embarrassing us too much.